Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I have a video for the flashlight guys and the EDCers out there looking for new lights all the time. This one is Wowtac's latest version of the BSS, which stands for Black Scout Survival. He is a YouTuber. There's his logo. And there's a collaboration light with the company. This is their V3 or version 3 model. All right, so they did some different changes here. It's actually a little bit shorter than the original one, and the other major change is the button, the mode button, is back here by the tail cap as opposed to being up here, which is actually a really, sensible change, I suppose, because when you're back here turning it on momentary or just turning it on constant, you can use your pointer finger in the same grip to change the modes. So it's actually a really, really good upgrade, I would say, to the design. So first off, let me show you what this came with, accessories. If you guys remember the first BSS light, it came with a red filter, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit here because it's actually a very good filter. Pocket clip, which I did not put on because I don't like pocket clips on my larger flashlights. Usually, as you guys know, I have tons of knives all the time, so I'll have a knife clipped to my pocket and I don't want them kind of banging into each other. So I get a one tool clipped to the pocket per EDC. So yeah, I just didn't happen to use the pocket clip, but it does come with one. If that's what you like, you can certainly use that. Charging cable for this and some spare O-rings. So let's open this up here because I showed you the charging cable. If you do not know, this comes with a 3400 milliamp hour 18650 rechargeable lithium that charges directly through the battery. Okay, so there's the port right there. All right, I think it's a mini USB. So this plugs directly into the battery as opposed to using some kind of charger. It's a cool little option. Obviously, if you're getting into flashlights and you're new to it and you do not have an 18650 charger, it's nice that each individual flashlight these days usually come with some way to charge it. Right, so you don't have to have a dedicated charging system. As far as the different modes on here, it's very straightforward, very simple. All right, we have a tail click you turn on, half press for momentary, right, or click it in for constant on. And again, your finger's already on that mode button on top here. All right, you're just gonna click it. It's gonna cycle through high, medium, and low. Very simple, high, medium, low. High in this flashlight is 1150 lumens, all right? This is running a Cree XPL V6 LED. Go down there and you can see that. Long, smooth reflector. At any point in time, in any mode, you can hold this button down to get to your strobe, okay? If you notice, we left off in strobe. This does not have a memory mode, function. So each time you turn it on, it's going to automatically go to high. All right, so let's say you go down to low, turn it off, turn it back on, it's in high again. All right, maybe a positive thing, maybe a negative thing, just depends on who you are and what you're using the light for. So let's take a closer look at this crenulated bezel. That thing is nasty looking, very intimidating. It stands out being kind of a flat gray on the black flashlight here. If you're not familiar with these, crenulated bezel, I mean, the bezel is just the top portion. Crenulated just means that there's cutouts in it. That's all. All right, so it serves two functions. Number one, for defense. If you were to jam this into someone and twist, it would definitely cut them up and be a good non-lethal defensive option. But you're probably not going to use it for that, hopefully anyway. What you probably will use it for, or it can be helpful, is if you have the light on and you rest it down somewhere, it lets light out. So you can clearly see your flashlight's on. This way the battery doesn't die. What's cool about this particular model in all three versions is that it is removable. So you do not have to have this on. Specifically, if you're carrying this, with pocket clip in your pocket, I've talked about that before, is that crenulated bezel sometimes will tear up your pockets, you know what I mean? And also be uncomfortable. If it digs into your leg while you're sitting down or something, it can be uncomfortable. So you have the option of taking it off. Now notice the difference. If you keep this in a low mode, put it on the table, you can't tell that it's on. All right, even if I put it back to high, still might not notice it. So that's where the crenulated bezel kind of shines. No pun intended. So what's interesting though with this light is I love the fact that it comes off, but again, that filter, a very cool red filter on this, replaces the other bezel. All right, and this is actually an extremely effective bright red light. So if you're one of those rare people out there that use, red filters in your flashlights, this has to be probably the brightest one, at least that I can remember. It is extremely bright. So whatever they're using for a filter here, it's allowing a lot of that light to pass through. 1150 lumens without any filter at all, but I'm assuming that most of those lumens are making it out the front there, okay? A lot of times the filter, you know, when going through any kind of filter, you're gonna lose some of that light or some of that output. Some other flashlights, they're nice and bright, but when you put that red filter on, it cuts that output a lot. This, not so much. This is actually a very bright red flashlight. I don't know if you guys can really tell, but I mean, during the day here with the lights on and stuff, extremely red. At night, even more so. All right, so if that's a function you really do use in your flashlights, this is definitely something worth looking into. So it's versatile, which is nice. And of course, you don't have to have any filter on at all. And it works just fine like that as well. So in comparing this to its old version, it's smaller, there's less knurling, a little bit of a design change. The biggest thing for me is the button, you know, moved over to a different location, which makes more sense. It really does. It's there, your finger's there to change it. It's awesome. I really do like the upgrades to it. It is, in my opinion, the best version of it. Right now, it's $10 more than its previous version. So this sells for 50 bucks on Amazon. The V2 version is still $40. But instead of comparing it mostly to the old version, I'm going to compare it to a totally different flashlight that I've actually been EDCing not too long ago. And that is this light right here. This is the M1X. This is from Olight. It's a striker model. This is very comparable, if I put this bezel back on, very comparable to the BSS V3. All right, in size and obviously, you know, its function. Now this has the mode button on top, like the V2 version of this flashlight, but essentially in carrying it, it has the same type of feel. All right, this flashlight, it sells for $60, so it's $10 more. It's also 1,000 lumens, so it's 150 lumens less technically. I will tell you, in comparing these side by side, they look the same as far as output. Now you will notice that there is that flower pattern when you have that crenulated bezel on there, okay? You don't notice this outdoors, I mean barely, it just depends. If you're on a wall or something, you can see the, you know, the artifacts and the shape there. But when you're inside is when you really can tell, especially in a lower light mode, that shines on the wall just looks like a freshly cracked egg or something, or a flower. Again, with the BSS3, it's removable. This Olight has a pretty heavy crenulated bezel. It is not removable. That is a fixed design here, okay? So that will always have that pattern. May not bother some people, it might bother you, but again, one of the benefits of having this. So even though I really like the striker and it was great to carry and everything, the changes that Wowtac did to the version 3 of this flashlight kind of beats it in a lot of different ways. Like I said, it is a little bit cheaper. The crenulated bezel is removable. You get that really nice red lens. And of course, you know, the mode button being in that position is a little bit easier to use. All right, and technically it's brighter, but personal opinion, they look the same. You'd be hard pressed to really tell the difference in high mode. All right, if you haven't seen this light before, all right, turning it on, mode button, you can see high, medium, low, turbo, right? Low, medium, high, turbo. So you get that extra light level on this one. But, you know, it's funny because I was never really bothered at all by, you know, mode buttons on the side, because usually I'll stick in one mode and that's it, you know, especially if it has a mode memory function, you know. So I'm usually using the highest output. That's what most people do. And that's it. I was just clicking on and off. I wasn't touching this much. But now, in having a flashlight that has it down here, it does make sense. It's not the only flashlight. It's certainly not the first one. There's been many other flashlights in the past that have mode changing buttons down here. I want to say it was an Olight, but back in the day, I remember reviewing a flashlight that had a dedicated a strobe mode, which was the button here. So you had all your functions in your clicky switch, but if you need to get the strobe really fast, all you did was hold down that button. It was a dedicated strobe button, which I thought was pretty cool. But anyway, that's nor here or there. Just want to do a comparison to another, you know, company's offerings. So let me know your opinions down below. But for me, the big sell is the accessories. You know, I'm a sucker for extras and stuff, and the fact that you have this really nice red lens and the crenulated bezel is removable. That's a big bonus for me. Like I said, I like this light a lot. I wish that this did have a removable bezel, but it does not. It's just part of the design. So yeah, about 1,000 lumens, cool accessories, easy to use, 50 bucks. It's a good EDC option if you're looking for, you know, a single 18650 flashlight. It's definitely competitive with what's out there right now. So let me know your opinions down below. Appreciate your time as always, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.